Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a good day I bid to all of you here today. And welcome to the INSEF Student Day for the 2017 June intake. I'm Muhammad Farouk. I'm from the MSc program, and I'll be your MC for today. Again, it's a pleasure to have here with us the President and CEO of INSEF, Mr. Daud Vikri Abdullah, Mr. Zalim, management team and staff of INSEF. Also, not to forget, fellow colleagues, new students here. Briefly on today's event, the reason why we are gathered here today is to give you the new intake, a brief overview on what to expect here, and some tips and guidance on kickstarting your journey here. For the opening remark, it is an absolute honor to have one who is seasoned and well-versed in various facets, with involvement in management consulting, financial service industry, banking operations and control. The list just goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO and President of INSEF, Mr. Daud Vikri Abdullah, onto the stage.
Very good morning to all of you. I probably lost half of the microphone, which means when you get to my age, you become technologically incompetent. No, that's not working. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Very good morning to you. Can you hear me okay? I tend to wander around and pick on people, so watch out. I'll endorse the welcome. It's an absolute delight and pleasure to welcome you all to INSEF. And you've all made a choice to come here, so I have to congratulate you on your choice. But there's going to be some hard work, but I think there'll be some fun along the way. And we have some hard work to do as well on our side. You know, we recognize you've made a choice, and we have an obligation to help you realize the reasons why you made that choice. INSEF is still a fairly young organization. It's not yet 12 years old, but we've already built up a global reputation, and that global reputation is represented, I think, by two or three things, which I'll share with you now. One is that we have produced close to 1,400 graduates at master's and PhD level from over 70 countries around the world. Half our students are international, they're not from Malaysia. Those students who have graduated are already starting to have an impact. Impact in senior positions, impact in just driving change in Islamic finance. A little over 2 months ago, I was in Kenya, and 5 of our alumni, we only have 5 alumni from Kenya in Africa, but those 5 alumni organized a 1-week program for us, which involved a master class, an executive program, a conference, the launching of Kenya's first green bond, the announcement by the government of Kenya that they were going to embrace Islamic finance, and also some interaction with the International Red Cross, who we partner with in terms of developing Islamic finance instruments for social good. So all of you, I hope, have an opportunity to have an impact. But INSEF is not just about Islamic finance and passing some exams. It's about what you do with those qualifications, what you learn from your studies, and how you apply them, and how you apply them effectively. That is the most important thing. It's the application of your knowledge. How many of you here are from the financial services sector? A few. That means some of you are not, okay? Or some of you have never worked. Some of you didn't put hands up. I'm not going to ask everybody, but there's a gentleman there. What sector are you from? Or this is you've been a permanent student. Sorry? From? Yeah, but what sector are you from? What industry? If you're not in financial services.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
Yes, graduated from Yahoo University.
Right, so you're effectively a student. So education. Okay, so some of you from financial services, some of you are clearly not. We have challenges in not just Islamic finance, but in Islam. I was Googling the other day, and based on a conversation I had with a senior Sharia scholar, and I discovered that the most negative word in the English language globally is Sharia. Most negative word. So we have a challenge, and the challenge has to be taken on in terms of convincing people that we actually have a value proposition, not just in Islam, but in Islamic finance, that it actually represents something good and wholesome and does you no harm, and in fact goes better than does you no harm. It goes into the extent where actually it makes you well, it's tayyib. And that is extremely important. And if you look at data which is coming out from international organizations such as the United Nations, for example. The United Nations has an organization which runs something called the Principles in Responsible Investment, PRI. And the UN PRI did a study about 6 weeks ago, which it was released. And it looked at the millennials, and some of you here are millennials. I'm certainly not. Okay. So don't start looking around and saying who's a millennial, but the younger generation. And that study had a lot of interesting data, but right at the top of the list, it discovered that 91% of millennials, and remember by the year 2020, there will be 2 billion millennials in the world. 2 billion. 91% of millennials would not invest in any product if it were not ESG compliant. ESG compliant, environmental, social impact, governance, good quality products. And it doesn't take much imagination for you to understand that if 91% of them are only going to invest in those kind of products, we have an opportunity with Islamic finance, which is ESG compliant because it's Sharia compliant. There's a very, very close linkage between the two. There's a huge opportunity in business terms to fulfill. Interestingly enough, in that survey as well, 90%, not 91%, slightly less, but 90% of millennials interviewed as part of the survey said they would not work for any company that was not ESG compliant. So the world is changing. You know, when I started doing Islamic finance 25, maybe it's 26 now, but it's a long time ago, 25 years ago, it was very much seen as a specific alternative for Islamic, from conventional finance, and specifically for Muslims. That was the perception. Sadly, it still is the perception. A month ago, I presented to the United Nations in Geneva. Senior management team, 25 people in the room, about the same number here. And the first question I asked them was, how many of you have ever heard of Islamic finance? How many people raised their hands out of those 25? A guess, come on. It's Saturday morning, have some fun. It gets serious after me. So, give me a number.
5.
Two. 2 is correct. 2 out of 25 had ever heard of Islamic finance before. This is the United Nations. I asked another question. How many of you think that Islamic finance is just for Muslims? All put their hands up. That's the challenge we have to address, and you're part of the answer. Because what you will learn at INSIF will help you to answer those questions and to have a good grasp of how Islamic finance is applied to create positive social impact and to demonstrate that what we do is a power for change and a power for good. Okay? That is really what our mission is about. When you look at the world in terms of what's invested, in other words, how many dollars are actually invested in products out there and go into pension funds, go into insurance, go into savings, go into various things. The number is a very high number. It's $169 trillion. is invested in assets. It's a massive number. 40% of that number is actually ESG compliant. So there's a strong desire from sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, large-scale investors, if it's 40%, to actually uphold these values. Of that proportion, about 1.5% is Sharia compliant. But if you think about what we do in Islamic finance, it is it's ethical, it's sustainable, it's under good governance, it's responsible. We need to demonstrate that what we have does actually represent those values. The issue we have is helping people understand the values that we represent and the values that Islamic finance represents. And then we can move very, very quickly, I believe, from 1.5% to 40% and beyond. The misperceptions, the misunderstandings about Islam are immense, and I don't want to start a lecture on that. You'll hear me talk about it many, many, many times. But the point I want to get across to you is you have an opportunity through learning about Islamic finance about how to create change. Change in perceptions, change in reality. Impact. It's not just about getting a job and working in a financial institution, worthy as that may be. Most of our students who graduate now actually want to go out and do things in crowdfunding or social impact or fintech or consultancy or set up their own business, which is quite a change from just 6 or 10 years ago. They want to get directly involved, and we will, through our curriculum and through the changes that we make constantly at INSIEF, address those needs. It's not just about the classroom learning, it's about the action-based learning. It's about solving real problems. It's about researching. It's about learning how to solve those problems and having the confidence, having learned them, to apply them and to communicate them. That's what the journey is about. I have taken up my quota of time. I'm going to say perfect timing, but I think it's more luck than judgment. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to pass over back to the MC. You're going to hear next from the chairman of our Student Representative Council. And once he's finished, then the two of us are ready to answer questions. And yeah, the questions can be anything. I call them, it's the AMA session. I love it. You know, ask me anything. And you'll usually find out I know nothing at that stage, but you can ask me anything. So I'll leave it like that. Enjoy your time here, make good use of it, and be the change that you want to be. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. David, for that enlightening talk. As he has stated, we will now hear from one of our students who happens to also be the president of the Student Representative Council. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Mr. Arif Hodori to give his welcoming remarks.
Test.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Ms. MC and President CEO of INSIEF. Also, good welcome to our Deputy President of Academic, Professor Dato Dr. Syed Osman Al-Habshi, and also to our Deputy President of Operations, Mr. Zalin Ayub, and fellow students and SRC members. So basically, my presentation is going to be two parts. One is the formalities, which I will introduce what the SRC is about and what role do we play, and also some personal messages that I will share with you, with all of you. So, okay. So to start, well, basically, I'm sure all of you know what SRC is about. It is everywhere in other universities as well. But basically, SRC is a group of students in a school elected by their fellow students. And we represent all students in the school responsible in ensuring the welfare of the students, addressing matters in the interest of the students, and organize ways for students to participate and contribute to their school community. So basically, that is our main mandate here. And just to go through, yeah, obviously that's me. And then we have other members as well. So my vice president is Nadia. So Nadia is back there. She's from Senegal, right? Okay, I got that right. Mr. Farouk, our MC, is the treasurer. So he's the rich guy here. And then Nadia is my secretary, as well as other members. SI is our GS representative. GS stands for Graduate Schools. But Mr. SI is not here because he's in Kabul, Afghanistan. Situation there is quite tight right now. And Sister Suad is our student welfare representative. So if you have any problems with your welfare, accommodations, or any other stuff, you can refer to Sister Suad. Sister Sarahana is our professional studies representative, and a lot of you guys here are doing MIFP, right? So Sister Sarahana will be the person of reference if you have any problems regarding your courses. And also Brother Adam, he's not here, but he's handling special tasks and operation. We also have two student advisors, which is Brother Mustafa and Brother Mehdi. They are actually previous SRC members that continue to serve in the council. So upon taking over the council at the end of last year, so we established 3 goals, which we believe is very important in producing quality graduates. So our goals is first to enriching the student experiences, empowering student impact, and also encouraging student inclusion. And we believe that by having these 3, not only you will have a quality experience here as a student of INSEF, but also you will gain more and be able to contribute more in the future. So basically, these are the focus area of our events. So it includes student development, encouraging innovations, maintaining student welfare. From time to time, we have events that in the area of Dawah, and we usually have social impact or social contributions, which has been done so many times before. Cultural and also wellness. So just to give some of the brief activities that we have done last semester, as of January semester 2017, I mean, this year there's a lot of situation in the Muslim world that is quite critical. You know, we have the problems in Syria, we have the problem in Somalia and so on. And us being one of the leaders in Islamic finance, so we feel obligated to help out. So we actually made several fundraising, and Alhamdulillah, total up everything, we raised more than 15,000 from the student and staff. So this is a very encouraging number coming from a very small universities. Also, we always engage with the industry. So that is one main thing that we are trying to do, because by engaging in the industry, you maintain your relevance amongst the industry, because it's very important to ensure that we are relevant and we can get the good skill set. So we engage with CIIF and also MFPC. And also one of the things that is very important is to maintain the networking among our INSEF community. So what we have done is that we make a meet and greet session, which basically expose the new intakes to our fellow staff, academic staff, and also to our alumni. So we have alumni in various organizations, IFSB, chairman of banks, and other organizations as well. And also other activities in INSEF include clubs. So we have active clubs in INSEF. So one is research club, Arabic club, sports club. These are all sports club pictures, also Arabic clubs. We have entrepreneurship, debate, tourism and culture, and Toastmaster. So the existence of this club is to encourage student participation, as well as serve as platform for students to contribute to the INSAF community as well, other than being an SRC member. So if you have any inquiry, so you can communicate with us through this platform, and you can also take my number. My operating hours is limitless. If I reply, then I reply lah. Any question, just feel free to ask, because we are here to help the students, and we shall do our best to serve our students so that your welfare is taken care of. So that's the formal part of my presentation. So I think I have 7 more minutes. So Mr. Daud Vikri just now said about, ask you guys like, which from you is from the financial services. So obviously I'm not. I graduated in 2015, jumped straight away here to INSAF. So I represent the fresh faces in the industry. So inshallah I will join the industry soon. But what I can share about is for those who just graduated and just entered directly into INSAF, because I understand that some of you may feel without any direction, or feel a bit lost, or feel overwhelmed with all the information that is getting to you in just one day. What I can say to you is that don't worry about it, and make the best out of your time here, because here we have one of the best quality of services that is available. When I say quality of services, that includes facilities and also the faculty members. So we have really good faculty members, and I'm saying this not because I want good grades. I finished all my coursework already. Because I said this because this is evident from my experience here. And being a student, or you can say a customer of INSAF, I am very satisfied with my experience here. And just to share with you all, my experience as a student is very different from INSAF and my previous undergraduate university. So when I was an undergraduate student, I'm a typical student lah. I like to enjoy myself, living the life. Early 20s is the time to, go out there and experience life. And I used to be a subscriber of your soft skill, or your co-curriculum is much more important than your curriculum. And then I used to think that employers cherish more of the soft skill compared to your curriculum. Obviously, I was wrong, because I graduated with not a good grade in my undergraduate, and I tried to find employment, which I failed. And but not heartbroken, I decided to do my master's, even though chances are very slim with my previous CGPA. It's not nice, and I will not share with you what's the number of the CGPA. It's not nice. But I remember, I remember trying to find that sense of purpose. And growing up, I always have the passion of I want to do something for the community. So the reason why my undergraduate CGPA is not good is because I always involved in co-curriculum and volunteering causes. So, I'm not spending my time in classes, but I'm spending my time in the field, trying to do something, try to contribute. So I find a sense of purpose in Islamic finance. So I believe that Islamic finance can be a way for us to help the society. So it might sound very idealistic, but it may lead to something. So I decided to join INSAF, and upon joining INSAF, I can't believe that I have actually that curriculum skills. I can actually score an A. That is very surprising, because I never scored an A in my undergraduate. So, just to show that this is not just a one-man show, because perseverance and consistency alone cannot produce a good quality students. It must be paired together with quality facilities and quality services. So, and I can say that my time here in INSAF, together with the professors and also the management, I can get that quality services, The lecturers here are not spoon-feeding. They are actually engaging in your thoughts. They will challenge anything that you say about, not for the sake of just challenging, but for the sake of empowering your thoughts. Drive your curiosity, and to make sure that you understand and you be critical about any issues in Islamic finance. And that is very critical to produce a good quality student, especially in postgraduate level. So, and alhamdulillah, I've been spending these 2 weeks in sleepless nights, waiting for my result, last semester result. And last semester result went out yesterday, and I was very happy that I completed all my coursework. And compared to my undergraduate CGPA to my master's CGPA, you can see that exponential jump. It's very high jump, and it's a proof that even though without any background in industry, in the financial services, if you put the hard work into it, you can actually achieve it. And inshallah, the doors to more bounties or rizki is there for you if you work hard enough. And also, I would like to encourage students to learn from each other and listen to each other, because from my experience here, your classmate will not be like during your undergraduate time. Everybody is without experience. But in postgraduate degree, there's bound to be someone in your class that with ample lot of experience. I've had deputy CEO in my class. I've had senior managers in my class. And these kind of people is the people that, you're not going to lobby for jobs, but what you're going to do is that try to get their perspective of the field, because they are in the field and they know what is going on and the challenges in the industry, and that's where you can build your ideas and build your thoughts. So by engaging with your classmates, you can actually learn a lot, as well as engaging with your fellow professors and lecturers. And also listen to each other, because you may not agree with what other people are saying, especially in Sharia perspective. One country says this is okay, another country says it's not okay. That is normal, but listen to each other and try to understand where they are coming from, because this is especially important when learning in postgraduate level, because critical thinking and openness are very important, especially when you do research. That is one skill that you need to have. So at the end of the day, I'm going to conclude with one quote. This is something that my maternal grandfather used to say to me. He's a Malaccan Chinaman. So this is a Chinese proverb, but I cannot say it. But basically, it means high quality work, but low key life. That is direct translation, but what it means is take your work, but not yourself seriously. Enjoy your time here, but while enjoying, make sure that you make the most out of your time here as well. So with that, I end my presentation, and thank you very much.
So just to proceed, we're going to have a brief question and answer session. We'll take a question from all of you, and it will be directed towards Mr. Dao or Sari.
Any questions at all? If they're too difficult, then I'll pass them on to Dato or to Sari. Any questions at all? And I'd like to thank, whilst you're thinking of questions, I'm sure we've got them, I'd like to thank Arif, because it's better to come from a student from me that was from the heart, which is always important. From my heart, I can say I've been here 6 years, and I've I've certainly learned more through doing this job and engaging in education and with students than I have in the rest of my career. That I'm very grateful for. You never stop learning. You never stop learning. And so the opportunity to mingle with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different countries, even different belief systems is a very, very significant one. And you should take the opportunity. We are global. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Cricket scores, football scores, predictions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would like to ask about regarding the Islamic banks. Is it like 100% Islamic in terms of theory and application?
Well, that's a great question. The answer is no, it's not. You were probably expecting me to say yes. I'll try and be succinct, but part of your journey here at INSIP will be to find out how close they are, to to walking the talk. Islamic finance in its modern form started 30 odd years ago, and the line of least resistance to take was to identify products which were similar to conventional and the market understood, but to ensure they were Sharia compliant. So simply put, what we have is an environment where we have Sharia compliance, but there's huge similarity between the banking system Islamic and the banking system conventional. And I'll leave it at that. Differentiating areas which haven't had as much focus over the 30 years in terms of the values and in terms of what I would call the purity of not just Sharia but of Islamic thought, probably taqwa and asset management, that we chose to go down a path of banking as being the main thrust. I actually, looking back with hindsight, is always interesting, but sometimes it's not particularly relevant. And I wasn't there right at the beginning, but I was there close enough to know some of the founding fathers, and they were the ones who persuaded me to come into Islamic finance and indeed to convert to Islam 25 years ago. The journey, we wouldn't be where we are today in our journey if we hadn't have started at that point and done what we did. If we had decided 25, 30 years ago that we were going to create Islamic banks purely based on risk-sharing concepts and using concepts like musharaka and trying to persuade people about the value proposition, people would have just stared blankly back at us and said, well, that's very interesting, but I don't get what you're saying. I'm used to getting a mortgage, I'm used to systems which run on interest and so on. So had we tried to persuade people to do something which is more in line with what I would call the real application of Sharia, we probably would have crashed and burned very quickly. So what we've done, well, to say fortunately, fortunately we've established ourselves and we're on the big boys' table. Unfortunately, we find ourselves at the big boys' table now suffering from a regulatory system which doesn't really fit what we do, and tries to prescribe to us that banking should look this way or the way we measure risk should look this way. And our job now is to grow the critical mass and to persuade that there is an alternative. And the likely way of doing that is when, as and when crises or problems appear, we can adapt to them quicker and come up with solutions quicker. The global financial crisis, for example, I don't believe we took enough opportunity from it to persuade people that we had an alternative. The next crisis we better, and there will be one. That's my prediction. Of course there will be one because this goes in cyclical format. We need to grasp the opportunity further. But I think in the interim, the focus has to be on the social good that Islamic finance does. And much of the research that goes on at INSEAD now is not so much about pure product development and developing sukuk. It's actually about the application of products in the social environment. That's extremely important. And the research that we do, and by the way, I should have mentioned that to reinforce our globality, we're actually ranked number 25. We're the number 25 university in the world for the application of economic research. We're higher than many well-known famous names. And that is as a result of a concentrated effort by research students and faculty in the positive application of our research for good. You'll get much more depth and breadth in the answer over the coming weeks and months.
Thank you.
The answer is an honest no, we're not, and we've got stuff to do.
I disagree with you. Probably slightly different from what the President has just said. More global. He has done a presentation of the global picture of Islamic finance. Right? We're talking about 168 trillion. You can't imagine how it looks like. Against about 1.2 trillion, right? About 1.4%. I'm going to talk more on the local side. talk about the total assets for various jurisdictions, for various countries. Okay. You talk about first Malaysia. In the year 2000, the total Islamic assets at that time in Malaysia was only 4%. And in that year, the Bank Negara, or the central bank, planned by 2020 we shall have a total amount of Islamic assets of 20% by 2020. Right. Today is only 2017. We have reached 28%. Okay, more than what we targeted. What it means is that we have grown faster than we expected. Okay. Now, what will happen in the next few years? I believe that as it is now, if you are talking about Islamic assets being 28%, that means the rest is non-Islamic. So the whole economy is dominated by the conventional system rather than the Islamic system in this country. Because of the rapid rate of increase in the Islamic financial assets, right, that has been proven so far. In other words, we probably will have a situation where the Islamic financial assets dominate the economy. Give another 20 years, I believe it will dominate. Now, when the conventional assets dominate the economy, our policies, be it monetary policy, fiscal policy, right? We find that they are all basically based upon the conventional system. You cannot talk about it without talking about riba. Okay? Don't you think within the next 10, 15 years, I believe, when the economy will be dominated by Islamic financial assets, that we should actually implement Islamic system? Don't you think so? This is where your role is. This is where the challenge is. Is it easy to come up with Islamic policies, be it monetary policies, fiscal policies, and so on? Just the next day? No. Research has to start from now. That is your role, to be guided by the faculty. But that is just an example of one particular country. You may come from many countries. Do you realize that in Qatar, for example, the amount of financial assets is more than 20% already? Similarly in Saudi, similarly in other jurisdictions, particularly the Muslim countries. So if you talk about, if you compare between the financial assets of the global economy compared to the Islamic assets, of course we are nowhere. We can never catch up. It's impossible to catch up. Right? It's impossible. Just think, 1 point something percent against so many, 90%. Even if they don't increase, we increase by 20%, we still can't beat them. That's the situation. If you look at it globally, but look at it by jurisdiction. That's where our role is. And do not think that the small things that you can do will not bring any effect. I just want to relate to what I personally have done as example, not to blow my trumpet. Okay, not to blow my own trumpet. I just want to share with you some examples. Today we have one of the largest, in fact, the largest microfinance, Islamic microfinance institution in the world, in Malaysia. Very few people realize this. The Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia is one of the world's biggest microfinance, Islamic microfinance institution, because the Grameen Bank is not Islamic. Okay? we might be overtaken by the Indonesian one, but I have checked. The Indonesian one also is not very Islamic anyway. Okay? How did it start? A small group of us. I say us because I was involved. Started this in 1986 as a pilot project, way back in Tanjung Karang. 1986. We started as a pilot project, research project, action research, led by 2 people from USM, and I was involved in the steering committee from day one. Today is one of the biggest. That's one. Another one, there were 4 of us. Tan Sri Noor Yaakob, at that time he was in Bank Negara. Tan Sri Khalid Ibrahim, who was then in PNB, and 2 of us from YAPIM, myself and my Director General of YAPIM at that time. I was the chairman of YAPIM, he was the Director General. 4 of us sat together, what do we do? To cut the story short, we started Ar-Rahnu, the Islamic pawnbroking, right, in Bank Rakyat. What happened? Today, Bank Rakyat has a portfolio of Ar-Rahnu of 2 billion ringgit a year. That's our contribution. All right? So I do not think that you cannot do it. I think if you have the opportunity, jump into it. With that, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
We're overrunning on time, but are there any other questions? See what happens when we get on. I firmly endorse what Douglas says, that don't believe you can't do it. We had a student, PhD student, who graduated last year with his PhD, and in the preceding 3 years he worked on a project in Indonesia which he had figured out. And effectively it was a combination of Islamic finance and fintech in a rural community. He was a finalist in the Global Ethical Awards as a result of this project. He transformed 1,000 lives, 1,000 families' lives in a rural area in Indonesia who were used to earning 3 years ago $20 a month, up to $120 a month. That is an impact. That makes a tremendous difference in people's lives. He will be joining us soon on faculty. In fact, during this month, he's coming back. And that's just an example, one of the many examples we have of students who've applied their knowledge for social good and for social impact. And if we can stimulate you to do that, you are the future. Okay, time for a break. We'll pass it back to you. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much for all the inputs. It has been very inspiring indeed. Hopefully all of you will produce something more for the community, inshallah. Right now we have a brief 5-minute break, and we'll start again at 9:55 here. Thank you very much.
For your courses, and then on the semester basis, if you had issues with your registration and whatnot, the team that handles registration will be your contact person. We have examination unit as well. We have Sister Nazira here, and Hanif not in the room. This is Sister Nazira. If you can't see, probably you only see her back. She's pretty much in charge of the examination together with Hanif here. And these both awesome colleagues of mine have to manage over 45 exam centers all over the world at one time. So probably the most stressful person during the exam week, but they are not as stressful if it's not exam week. So they are approachable, so don't worry, they don't bite. So student records, we have Puan Haniza here. So that's Puan Haniza in green. She's managing all your student records, and if you need verification, and sometimes when you have graduated and your employer needs to do verification checking or whatever not, so she will be the person in charge. So if you claim that you pass pass certain papers, but the fact is you failed that papers, so this is the person to verify all that. Now, classroom management is being done by her as well, and we also in charge of graduate affairs, meaning that you will see our faces right from admission up until your graduation. So after graduation, hopefully we don't see your face again. But we want you to still come back as an alumni, and we still want you to come back, let's say if you have done your Masters and MIFP, and perhaps as our PhD student. Now, Student Affairs Department, we have Hisham. Where's Hisham? So this is Brother Hisham. He's the main person for Student Affairs. International student, make sure that you have his contact number. Anything happen, he will be the main person to contact. But we also have a dedicated international unit team, which is Sister Sharifah. This is Sister Sharifah. And Mr. Iqbal. Oh, airport pickup. Okay. Start. Okay. Now, and Sister Jamalia there. This is Sister Jamalia. He's handling accommodations and also events, assisting student affairs as well. And the most important person here is Sharina, because she's handling funding and scholarship. So if you are here on tuition waiver or any financial assistance, she will be the main person. Yeah. Now these are just some of the events that we have had in the past, and in collaboration with SRC, we managed to do a lot of things. And we hope that with your feedback in the future, we can strive to have more events that is useful for everybody. Our consultation hours, Monday to Thursday, 8:30 until 5:30 p.m. Friday, 8:30 to 12:30, and 2:30 until 5:30. See, the reason why I put up the consultation hours is that it is until 5:30. But physically, we are still around, normally. Physically, we are still around. So, because again, there are a lot of, we have students worldwide. So there are times where we still have to entertain emails or phone calls after 5:30. But we are hoping that, if you need to do all your official transactions with us or business with us, it is by 5:30. But if it's urgent, you can just let us know. It's okay. Right. This is where we are, just across the hall. If you can't see it, meaning that you never enter the student lounge, we are very accessible. As long as you have the student card, you can access that room. Inshallah, we'll be trying our best to help you guys. That's it. Any question? No? That's all then. Thank you very much and enjoy your stay at INSEAF. Assalamualaikum. Oh, okay. Before we proceed, and it's going to be a long day, warning, with briefings as boring as my briefing, but it's supposed to be a day of information. So you have to absorb as much information as you can. And on behalf of my colleagues of briefings from now onwards, and I'm so sorry if we bored you that much, but we hope we are able to give as much information as we can. Yes. Yes.
I actually registered full time.
Offer letter? Right, we can try to solve that later. Where's Haris? Okay. Your name, sir? Suhaimi. Okay, we'll get back to you shortly. We had power failure and then the boys are running everywhere, including Haris. So we'll get you the pack and then the offer letter by before the whole session today finish. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. Right. Right. Of course, the sport facilities here is exclusive for INSEAD students. But if you want to bring someone else, that someone else is your responsibility. Meaning that you have to be with this person most of the time. There are cases whereby they have friends in MASA, and then they brought in this MASA person come in and to use our gym. But they are both at separate building, one in the gym and one here. And that person in the gym is using the student's ID card, which is wrong actually. The student ID card should be with you. So if you need to bring someone, you can, but you have to be with them, so that any security concern will not arise. Yeah. Any other question? Attire at the swimming pool is Sharia compliant. Even though we have separate days. It's just that the building that is next to the pool is our ISRA researchers. So they are the ustaz and the ustazas. And their view is directly to the pool. So, yeah. Anything else? No? Alright then. Yeah. I've short quiz here just to make sure that you attention to my babbling. What is the acronym? I've just a few limited edition stuff here. Anyone can tell me what is the acronym of INSEAD? Okay. Okay. Right. Anyone can tell me who is the Chancellor of INSEAD? Chancellor of INSEAD. Yes. What is the full name? Tan Sri? Tan Sri Datuk Sri Doctor Zeti. Don't forget the doctor. She earned the doctor. And she's proud of the doctor. Right. Who is the president of INSEAD? Yes. Right. He has two names, by the way. He has David, he has Daud. He can use both. It's okay with him. So if you prefer to call him David, he's okay with it. If you prefer to call him Daud, he's okay with it. And he's always around. So if he walks around, just come up to him and just say hi. Right. What else? Who is the dean, Che? Because I'm giving out super limited edition. Who is the dean of School of Professional Studies?
Mr. Azam Shah Ismail.
We'll give you dua lah. Right. Who is the dean for School of Graduate Studies? Dean of Graduate Studies. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay, two more. Courtesy of Maybank. Maybank Islamic. It's a pen drive, flash drive, whatever you call it. Other than MIFP and PhD and MSc, there's one more service that we also have. Yes. CIP, not quite, but services. I mentioned yes.
Professional certificate.
yes, both yes. All right then, thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind attention. Right now we'll proceed straight to the ICT briefing. Let's have an applause for Mr. Farid Muhammad, the head of ICT.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I'm Farid. Obviously, you can call me Farid lah. That's my name. So I'm going to talk about the ICT infrastructure, including the hardware, the Wi-Fi, the software and stuff, the PC labs and stuff like that. Okay, this is my agenda. This is what I'm going to cover in a short while. First, I would like to introduce my team in ICT. So the left, rightmost, we have me. So it says the buck stops with me. So anything about IT, if you have problems, if you cannot, if you went to, you need to go to them first, because they are the subject matter experts of the matters of IT, let's say, software, these are the guys. So if things are not moving, then you come to me, then inshallah, I will try to solve whatever it is. So then I have Arif. Arif is the system, he's a system analyst. So he's responsible for all the library systems as well as some CP system. And then I have Razman. Razman is the guy who's responsible for the infrastructure and network. So everything about the Wi-Fi, the bandwidth and everything, it's all about him. So then I have Fauzia. Fauzia is the system analyst as well. And she's responsible for the second level support for the e-university system as well as some internal system, other internal system. And then I have Adam and Izzat. These are both the help desk guy. So you have problems, you call them first. Report to them. Whatever problem that you have, regardless, not only ICT problems. You have problems, if you see some leaking pipes in the restroom, just tell them. So they will then bring the matters up to the necessary people. Then I have Sulaiman and Faiz. These are the two super technicians that we have. So they can help you, assist you if you have problems with your PC, laptop, some configurations and stuff. Your PC lab, they will be able to help you. Okay, then I start with ICT facilities. As shown here, Wi-Fi is covered throughout all our campus. And the signal I'm not sure, but it may goes to the parking lot. I'm not sure, I haven't tested, but I can confirm that it covers all the buildings. Academic, Chancellery, as well as ISRA. Wi-Fi, if you look at your devices, you'll be able to see 3 types of channel, Wi-Fi channel. You can see INSEF Student, INSEF, and INSEF VIP. And it's obvious that you need to access INSEF Student. Okay, so the key, network key is INSEF 2011 star. Okay. I would just like to inform you that we have successfully doubled up our bandwidth starting early May this year. So it was 35 and we doubled up to 70. So inshallah you'll be able to get better services, better experience in your browsing, do your homework. Okay, on computer labs, we have 2 labs. Just behind this next, that side behind you, there's 2 labs. Okay, we have lab 1, lab 2. And lab 1, we have 32 thin client PC. What does it mean? Is thin client means that it's a very, it's a computer that actually doesn't have its own hard disk and processor. It goes direct to a server. So I'll talk about the team client later in the slides. And then the lab 2, I have 32 desktop PCs. These are normal desktop PCs. And then it's back there. It's opening hours from 9 to 8 during the normal semester. Saturday we are open from 9 to 5 and Sunday we are closed. But if say that you have some requests to use the computer lab on Sundays because it's near the exam and you need to do some work or do some revision, you can request to us and we can open it for you on Sundays, no problem. But I think you need to make a request. Best if you make the request via your student council and they can open up, we will open up for you. Okay, do's and don'ts. You see, there's problems when they have cases lah. We have cases whereby students bring in drinks and they eat inside the PC lab, and because of that, you have all these ants coming in and stuff like that. So we don't want that, because in the end, you guys you need to use it. So you want to have a clean area. So if you do that, then it is unfair to your peers, unfair to your friends. So I hope you don't bring foods and drinks inside the computer lab. Okay? Okay, I mentioned about thin client technology just now. So what does it do? It's actually connected to a server in our data center. So when you access the server, then you will be able to access the software that we provide to you that you can use, particularly the econometrics-based software like the eViews, and we used to have Microfit, but we no longer support that, and we also have Stata. Okay, the beauty of this technology is that, okay, you can also access the server from home to access whatever the software that we offer to you. So not only from our PC lab, but you can access it from home. Then you need to dial it lah. There's a way how to do it. Okay, from PC lab it's very straightforward. There's a global client software there, that icon that you can just click, then we'll be able to bring you. You can already go in the server. But from home, you need to download this. I don't know if you have this inside your pack. Ada. You don't? Tak ada. Okay, if you don't, then probably I will share this with Asad and he will probably send to you. Okay. So you need to download the Go Global client from the Graphon website. You download, then you just get go to training.insaf.org. They'll be able to get to access to our server. Bear in mind that there will be passwords, IDs and password needed to go into the server. We don't give to all. We only give as needed. So if you enroll to some econometrics subjects, then you need, and the lecturer actually uses eViews, for example, then you can get from us, you can go to help desk, send an email or call them. They will be able to provide you with the ID and password, right? Because we have, why we don't give to all, because the license, we have a concurrent license kind of thing, so we need to manage that. Student email, all of you will get student email, and the email address will be your student ID at student.insaf.org. Why we give you? Because sometimes when you want to register to some I don't know, some website that requires you to be a student of a university, right? So you cannot register using your personal email, so you can use this. So this is actually based on Microsoft 365 platform. So you can just go to microsoftonline.com, then you just enter your ID and your password, you'll be able to go in to check your email. So on top of the benefit of 365 is that you not only get email, you also be able to do Skype. You have your cloud drive. OneDrive is a cloud hard drive. You can use Word, Excel, online, and few more, OneNote and personal SharePoint. Okay, so there's more to it. How do we do these emails? That we need to wait until 2-3 weeks because some of you may drop or whatever. So we have everything have regularized. Then we will be sent to you to your personal email. Your new student email for you to then activate, right? Give us about 2-3 weeks. 2 weeks lah for this one short semester, probably 2 weeks. Okay, then we have the most important thing, the e-university. I believe all of you have actually tried to go in at least once, hopefully. Okay, this is the life. I mean, this is the medium, the most important medium for you when you in CEF. This is where you do your learning, where you communicate, where you know submit your assignment, see all your course notes and everything lah. This is here, right? So how do you do this? How do you go? You go to student, you'll be able to see e-university, and just click there and be used to this, and you just use your username, password, and be able to log in the system. So this is the first landing page for your e-university system, your student management system. So okay, this is the dashboard. So you'll be able to see what are these are the notices that ASAD will from time to time will inform you, like for important things, like there's revision, there's a cancellation of class or whatever. Okay, and then upcoming events. Okay, take a note like this, support ticket thing. Just remember this. Later I will explain what this is. Okay, then if you look at your profile, on the left tab, this is where your profile, your biodata will be updated. So if you have changes of address, your phone numbers, or your personal email, I suggest that you update it diligently, because this is where the ASAD officers will check. This is the place where they check. If they want to call you, or they want to, this is the your latest, you can update. It's not them to update. It's not them who update. It's you update whatever that you need to update. Alright. And then next to it, academic info, student information. So this is what academic information will show you which program you're in and which cohort you're in, and when you register, stuff like that. Academic progress is where you see your actual grades lah, grades for past semesters or the current one that you're taking. I believe later in the afternoon you have a session of e-university, right? In your schedule. So please, over here I'm just going through the e-university. So if you want to go detail, you should go to that session so that you can learn better. You can ask them how to gear, how to do that, do this. Over here now I'm just going through, browse through the system. Okay, registration is where you then register your courses. So let's say next semester, before the start of new semester, towards the end of the previous semester, ASAD will open registration where you can try to register for the next semester subject. So we then show so many subjects that you can register for the next semester. So this is where you will register. And then finances, if you have any outstandings that you need to pay, or even in CEF, OU, whatever it is shown here. I'm going quite fast actually. If you have any questions, just feel free to stop me, okay? Okay, help desk. I've talked about help desk earlier. Adam and Izzat. These are the two guys actually manning the help desk. They are situated near the bursary. So this is Adam. Okay, if you have any problem, like I said just now, not only regarding university, but regarding all other things, you have any problems with INSEF, go to them, tell them, because they will bring the matters up to the relevant party. So the communication medium, you can email them at helpdesk@insef.org or Skype them if you have Skype. You can call them, direct line 7614-100, or you can key in the student feedback portal ticket. Remember just now I told you to remember that ticket thing? So that is the student feedback portal ticket. It's for you. If you have problems, if you don't want to use other mediums, you can go to that. I think I'm covering that. I'll cover that later. Anyway, our operation hours is actually Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 p.m. Okay? So if you have problems during the weekend, these are some of the problems that we have lah. Because their working hours is actually 8:30 to Monday to Friday. Sometimes lecturers give assignments that due on, let's say, Sunday 12 p.m. Right? So it's normal that students normally wait until the very, very last minute to upload the assignment. So when something happened, they cannot upload due to some reasons, I don't know. Because as far as you know, no system is perfect in this world. So out of that, one day you try to upload, you cannot upload, and you are also in pressure, then you start calling here and start calling there, and then you start sending email to Daud, and you start, anyway, I cannot submit my assignment. So I would urge you guys not to wait until the last minute, because you never know what's going to happen. It could be it could be our problem. I'm not saying that we don't have problems. We may have problems, but it can also be at your side. Your line is not stable or whatever. So please, and our working hours is actually their working hours from Monday to Friday. So if you send email to them on Sunday, they will only be able to answer you the next day morning, Monday, 8:30 a.m. But that is formal. But normally, they do answer you even on Sunday, normally lah. Because I did instruct them to check their email. But because of that, I'm telling you the formal is this. Informally sometimes, because they do help you lah. Right? Let me be clear on that. Okay, student feedback portal I just mentioned just now. So when you click the support ticket, you'll be able to go here and use your password, and you'll be able to click on whatever it is lah. You have problems, you have complaint, or you have inquiry, or you have compliment, or you have suggestion. We do get compliments lah. Not many lah, only 1, 2 saying that this person, no, it's good, because we need to know who are the person who's actually doing their job above and beyond. So sometimes these people, we don't see the people like me, I don't see them down there. So if you give them comments, I know these people who actually can do work. Also, if you have complaint, let's say the toilets has been leaking for 3 days, nobody is taking action. So just do it, just complain. The good thing about this is that when you lodge ticket, you'll be able to see whether the action has been taken or not online. Because if we don't close it, then it will be up there, and I will be presenting these tickets to the higher level every month. I need to present all the problems that they being reported by our help desk to my management on monthly basis lah. So there are check and balance kind of thing lah. It's not, we don't do this just for the sake of doing it, but we're trying to improve ourselves. We need you guys to use our medium. You have complaints, if we have inquiries, just please go through this. It's very important. Okay, and then last words. Based on Nisa just now, was just saying about the IQRA thing, integrity and stuff. So please be aware that you are subjected to INSAF ICT policies all the time while you are using INSAF resources. For example, for ICT, our bandwidth, our network, we do allow, we don't ban Facebook, we don't ban YouTube or video streaming, because we know that you guys are not undergraduates, you are postgraduates, so you should know. I mean, you don't need to be told not to do what. But we do from time to time see people watching movies that has nothing to do with Islamic finance. So, because when you watch movies, you actually take the bandwidth from other people who wanted to use more meaningful things. Okay, so we hope that you be able to at least. Okay, and then good luck and all the best. Selamat berpuasa. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Oh, and one more thing. There's an interesting thing that we are introducing this semester. We are introducing a new software called Sadiqin. It's an Islamic banking system that we're going to let the lecturer teach you guys on actually how to use a real Islamic banking system lah. It's a I don't know who works for a bank here. Okay, I mean you have your own symphony system, whatever it is. So over here we are introducing, because we need to introduce action-based learning kind of thing. So we are introducing the usage of real banking system to you guys. So from this system you'll be able to create products, loan products, create so many products lah. I don't know, Al-Mudarabah lah, apalah. I'm not really trained on that. So it's interesting that we are introducing more and more things lah. So to make your learning more meaningful. All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Farin, for that session. Moving on, without a doubt, all of us here will definitely pursue knowledge and some form of data gathering. That's where the KMC is for, Knowledge Management Center. To brief you more on what it is about, let's have Ms. Azina Yati to explain to you about what this offer to you guys.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I'm Nur Azrin Ayati Abdul Manaf. It's a mouthful. You can call me Yati. It's easier. I'm the manager for Knowledge Management Center, or we call it here KMC. Okay, so I know it's been a long morning. Okay, I hope this is the last one for the briefing. After this, I think you'll split to the individual program briefing. So I'll try to make it short and simple, but just please bear with me for another 20 minutes or so. What I'm going to share with you today is what is our role, okay, how we can help you in terms of your study at INSAF, okay. But before that, I would like to, on behalf of KMC, I would like to welcome all of you new students to INSEAD, and we are glad that we can have you as part of our community. So it's a bit a long list, okay? This is what we will cover today, okay? We'll start with what we do, okay? So as you know, during your study here, definitely you will need to access to resources, services, access to knowledge, okay, in order to help you in doing your study. So what we do at KMC is actually, we'll try to be the reference point in line with INSEAD vision to be the knowledge leader in Islamic finance. So we are trying to do this by facilitating and strengthening the creation, flow, and sustainment of growth of Islamic finance knowledge at INSEAD. And then we also try to improve the discovery and access to Islamic finance knowledge through the platforms and resources that we provided, as well as to enhance the student learning experience at INSEAD through the services and facilities that we provide. Okay, so in terms of resources, okay, we have books, and it's not only limited to physical books, it's also have e-books. So for physical books, we have categorized into 3 collections. The general collections is the one that you can borrow. The maximum is for 30 days. I'll talk more about that borrowing later. And then we have reference collection. This is in-house reference only, so you can't take it out from KMC. And the last one is a special collection. This includes the red spots and also the thesis. So for special collections, you only can borrow it for 4 hours at one time. So it's only in-house usage. And then after 4 hours, you can come to the counter to renew if there's no one is holding it. In terms of the e-book, we have quite a few providers for e-books. Among others, we have eBrary, Wiley Online Library, My Library, EBSCO, Hostel and Francis, as well as GPRL.
And we can access all it.
Yes, you can access it. But some of the books, because we purchase this book, so usually it's one user per time. So if someone is reading the book, so you have to wait until, yes, the e-book, yeah, the e-book. Because e-books you can buy multiple copies or only one copy. So since we are not quite big organization, usually we just have one copy each.
Even though we are accessing the same book, but different pages.
No, usually because it requires login. So the moment you log in, so the book's only locked to that particular user. Okay, so until the user logs out, then you can access that book. Okay, all right. So besides books, we have other databases. Among others, we have financial databases. I can say that we have the complete package of financial databases. I can claim it. Among academic institutions in Malaysia, we have the complete package. Okay, we have all Thomson Reuters, DataStream, Icon, and then recently we just subscribed to Bloomberg as well as Fitch Connect. If you are familiar with the banking sector, actually Fitch Connect is the replacement for BankScope. If you are familiar with BankScope before, okay, BankScope no longer exists, so they replace it with Fitch Connect now. Okay, so besides the financial databases, we also have scholarly databases where you can search the journals, articles for you to do your research or study. So we subscribe to Science Direct, Emerald, EBSCO Host, as well as LexisNexis for the law journals. Besides these 2 databases, we recently launched, it's actually end of last year, we launched our institutional repository. Okay, it is called INSEAD Knowledge Repository, or IKR in short, and you can access it through this URL. So what we have in here is actually the collections of our faculty members, the publications that was published by our faculty members, as well as our graduate students. So if you publish something, your paper might also be collected and publish it from here. The reason why we want to have this is actually to have a one-stop center where you can look up into our subject matter experts. So from here, you can look at the profile of each of our faculty members to see what they have published, and then what is their background, what they are experts in, and so on. And besides that, we also publish the past year's exam papers here. So definitely you will need it, you need to access it to download all the exam papers. As well as this month, early this month, we just started to publish the thesis, the PhD as well as the master thesis of our graduate students, and you can access it from here. So for those theses that we have the online copy, the soft copy, we also publish it here. Otherwise, you have to access the hard copy from our library. Okay, so you need a login to download this. So I'll explain a bit later on how to do that. Okay, besides the resources, these are the services that we provide. Okay, it's 24/7 access in terms of the online resources that I mentioned just now. We have no time, no limits for that one. Besides that, we also have information search assistance. For this service, is actually in case you came across any articles that you can't download from the resources that you subscribe, you can provide us the full citation of the paper, of the article, and we will try to get it for you, and we email you back. Okay? So, but before you do that, try to look at all the resources that we have subscribed first. But if you can't find it, then you can just email us, and we will try to help you to get it. Okay? Our KMC service, customer service hub, oh, I forgot to tell you. You know, right? Where's KMC? It's the first floor when you come just now. You register, so we are on the right. Okay? That is where we are. Okay, so our customer service hub is directly in front of the door when you get in. Besides that, we have the service for borrowing, returning, and also renewing. From time to time, we will conduct and organize workshop and trainings, especially on the resources, the databases that we subscribe to. Usually, we will call the provider to give the trainings so that it is easier for you to use and make utilize of that resources. We also provide this document solution where we provide service for binding, scan, also laminate, but it will be charges applied to that. And then finally, we also have document delivery and interlibrary loan. Okay, this is where in case the book is not available here, so we're able to borrow it from other universities. So currently we have collaborations with UKM, UPM, UITM, as well as UIA. These are the 4 universities that we have collaborations with. So in case you can't find the books here, you may find the books from these 4 institutions from their library, and if you manage to get it, then you can call, or you can just give the title, and then we will try to source it for you through these interlibrary loans. Okay. Next, Intel facility. So we provide self-check kiosk. Okay, this is for you to check out books easier. You do it on your own. And also book drop machine. Our book drop machine is available outside KMC, so you can drop your books anytime. Okay, even after office hours. But in case you have any problem with that, just come to our counter for assistance. We also provide study area and discussion lounge. Okay, so study area is usually the silent zone. So in case if you need to answer calls or do discussion, please refrain yourself from doing it at the silent zone. You may move to the discussion lounge where we provide comfy sofas that you can sit on. Okay, we also provide you the database room. So this is where you have dedicated terminals to access the databases that we subscribe to. Fish Connect, DataStream, Bloomberg, all situated in the database room. And then we also provide you, I think, about 20 PCs, workstations in the library, in KMC, for you to use in case you don't bring your laptop. Okay, you may log in, you may access your internet. It's because Wi-Fi is available in KMC. The password is the same as the one that Cik Farin gave just now. And we also provide photocopy, printing, and scanning facility. Okay, but photocopy and printing, it requires you to buy a card, and it's reloadable at minimum 10 ringgit. Okay, and also GST applied. Okay, for printing, only the workstations that is available in KMC is connected to the printing machine. So in case you bring your own laptop and then you want to print, you have to save it into thumb drive and then access to one of our workstations, and then you can print from there. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, good. So this is on the borrowing privileges. So for full-time students, you have privileges to borrow. Okay, only face-to-face student. So depending on the material, the collection, the category of the material, so maximum loan day is usually 30 days. Okay, except for the special collection, and the maximum quantity is 20 only. Okay, so you may renew your borrowing before the due date or on the due date 2 times maximum, and provided if the item is not reserved. Okay, so if let's say you borrow it and then you want to renew it for the first time, but the item has been held by some other patron, but you can't renew it, so you have to return it too. You have to return it. Okay. The renewal can be done at our counter, or it also can be done online, so that you don't have to come all the way just to renew the book. Okay, and then once you pass that due date, the overdue fines will start accumulate. Okay, so the charges is for the general collection and media, it's 1 ringgit per day, and for special collections is 5 ringgit per hour, because it's for 4 hours, right? So if you exceed that 4 hours, you will be charged 5 ringgit. Okay. So this is our opening hours. We open, so we have 3 categories of our opening hours. During semester, so Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 8:30 p.m., so 12 hours opening. Saturday and Sunday during semester is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. During semester study break as well as examination week, we extended our opening hours during Monday to Friday to 9:30 p.m. Okay, Saturday, Sunday maintain the same. And during semester break, we only open from 8:30 to 5:30. Okay, and Saturday, Sunday is closed. Okay. However, since this is Ramadan month, okay, our opening time is a little bit different. Okay, so for weekdays we start open at 7:30 in the morning, and we close at 6 p.m. Okay, to give time for our staff to go for iftar. And during weekends we open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. only. Okay. And every public holidays we are closed. As Nisa mentioned just now, you have the calendars given to you in your student kit, so you can refer to that. And we also close on Friday for Jumaat prayer, so from 12:30 to 2:30. Okay, so during this Friday time, you may, if you want to come back after the Friday prayer, you may leave your stuff in the in KMC, but it's at your own risk. Usually we will lock the door, so nobody will come after that. Okay. So how to connect with us? So the main entrance to our knowledge portal you can access through this address. Okay. Upon accessing this address, you will get this page. So I hope you will start to get familiar with this one. Okay. So this is actually a one-stop center where you can connect with us directly. So on this page, you can directly type in the materials or the articles that you want to look for in this search bar, and then you click search, or you can click on one of these banners. So these banners are clickable. Okay. So this banner actually will take you to our KMC portal. That is more on the static info about what we do, and then the list of databases that we subscribe, additional information in terms of announcement that we want to make, you can get it from here. Okay, our contacts, everything you can get from here. And then this is where I mentioned just now about the institutional repository, INSEAF Knowledge Repository. Okay, so this is where I think nearing to your exam week, you will be accessing it a lot. Okay, to get your past year's exam papers. And then if you're doing your thesis, so all the thesis now available through IKR as well, so you may go there and refer to. And then we also have social media, Facebook, with the name INSEAF KMC. So this is where we usually communicate any announcement. Okay, you can subscribe to that as well, follow that announcement or any additional info that you want to convey to students. So usually we put it here. And Scoop It is actually a content curation where we compile news related to Islamic finance from other medias. Okay, and then we try to put our thoughts, our insights into it. So you can also subscribe to, it's actually Why Not IF, if you can say down here. So you go to Scoop It, you type hashtag Why Not IF, then you should be able to look at the content that we have created. Okay, usually we update the news about 4 times a week, so try to keep up to date to what's happening out there. Okay, so actually we will be conducting getting familiar with KMC resources, because I think there's a lot to me to cover here. So we will have an introductory course that will be held on 14th of June. Okay, for you to, so we will brief you in terms of how to use the knowledge portal just now. Okay, how to do, how to hold books, okay, how to renew books from there, and then how you can request books that is not available, and so on. Okay, so I hope to see you again on the 14th. Okay, you may register from on Eventbrite. Okay, you just type this address in, and then you can directly register from there. Okay. It will be done at Computer Lab 1 from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Okay? Alright. So, one important thing about INSEAF's email student email. So, Encik Farid mentioned just now, each of you will get your student email. Okay? So, at KMC, our communications always through this student email. So please do check it regularly in case we, especially on the notices, if you have borrowed, so notice of library usually will be sent to here. Okay, so in case you know that you should receive some email from us but you didn't receive any, so just go and check in spam email. Sometimes for the first time it goes there. Okay, just uncheck it, and then inshallah after that it will straight away go to your inbox. Okay, so the student email, I think Cik Fani already mentioned just now, it should be your student ID at student.insef.rg, and then your password is the same as your e-university account. Okay, so for login to KMC, I hope by now you should be able to receive the notification of how to log into KMC resources. Okay, you should be able, the systems by right already sent you a notification how to access, given you the username password and how to access our system. So please go and change your password, because usually we will just give a default password. So go and change your password from there, because anyone who knows your student ID can straight away go in and then do the necessary. Okay, so this is our team. We are not big. We just have nine people altogether. If you can say Arif, he plays he wears two hats actually. Okay, he's part of KMC as well as part of ICT. So he's the ICT representative in our team, because KMC we have quite a number of systems that needs ICT expertise in it. So we have Arif here. And then this is our head of KMC, Puan Aznita. This is myself. This is another Azlina. Okay, that's why I'm not encouraging you to call me Azlina, because we have another Azlina in the house. So this is another Azlina. This is Mr. So I think I don't have to introduce them now, because the moment you step into KMC, you will definitely see these faces a lot. Okay? All right. So we can be contacted through this number. This is our general line. Okay, 4070. If you have any problem, you can call us here, or you can drop us an email at kmc@insaf.org. Okay. So with that, any question? I keep to my promise. It's 20 minutes. Okay. If nothing else, thank you very much. Ramadan Kareem to everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Yati. I appreciate you guys paying attention up until this point. Right now we'll have our breakup session where we will separate according to our program. May I know who's taking MSc or PhD? So you guys will proceed to Great Eastern classroom at the back, but we'll have usherers to guide you to the class. But the rest, doing MIFP and CIFP, please remain here, where we'll have a briefing regarding your academic program. With that, thank you for your kind attention up until this point.